Hello and welcome. I'm Margaret Ann. Tonight we're going to talk about the reality of resolutions. I'm going to help you, if you wish, have some tools to help you with your willpower and focus so that when you decide you're ready to create even more of your reality, what you want in your life, you have some tools and some ways to move forward with those thoughts. So the first thing, this is like I mentioned earlier. I have to say, this is one of my favorite little mini workshops that I share. And these tools that I'm going to share with you, I've used over the years, even back when I was a mortgage banker. I was a mortgage banker for 12 years before I opened the Crystal Garden, which is where I'm sitting right now in my store, the Crystal Garden. I opened the store in 1988, which at this point is a little over 33 years ago. So the reason I bring that up is because even when I was a banker, I was using these tools, this exact information that I'm going to share with you way back then, and it has really helped me become the person I am today and also the businesswoman and achieve the goals and spiritual level as well that I have achieved so far. And I have so much more to grow and do as well. So we can always reset and do this any time of the year. But at the beginning of the year seems to be a favorite for most people because we're setting resolutions. Well, the reality of resolutions is this could be a daily thing. It doesn't have to be just at the beginning of the year. So the first thing you can do is to ask yourself, what is it that you want to achieve this year? What do I want to achieve this year? Am I happy with my life the way it is? And I suggest that you pull out a nice journal, pad of paper. If you're not into that and you want to use maybe you can write on your tablet, that's fine too. But I suggest using the motion of actually handwriting. And so with that, you can journal about that. What do I want to achieve? Answer that to yourself and let yourself go with that. And answer the question, am I happy with my life the way it is? So once you answer that question, the next thing is to work on this manifestation list. And let me tell you, the very first thing that I recommend you do is to take a pad of paper, like I mentioned, but this time I want you to list 100 things you would like to manifest or create in your life. Yes, 100 things. Now, if this was a longer workshop and we were all in person, perhaps I would pause here and let you all sit here and write 100 things. So, what I would like to suggest, and I highly recommend that whether it's later on tonight, maybe after the Crystal Garden Facebook Live show, or in the very near future, make a list of 100 things. Now, if you want to start that while I'm sharing, that's up to you. But it's better to stay focused on what we're talking about so that you can find all the tools that you can use. Now, sometimes it feels like you will never get to 100 items. Put anything and everything down, anything that you would ever have wanted, and it can be in all these categories: education, family and friends, income and career, your physical beingness, your physical body, social, your spirituality, and travel. I don't highly recommend travel right now, but we're in a pandemic. So once you've created that list, I'm going to go back and bring you back here again, because I would highly recommend that you write down these bullet points or watch this again later here. Either if you're watching on Facebook, you can replay it on Facebook. If you're watching this on YouTube at a future date, it will probably be up by tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow night. You can rewatch this and pause it here and use this list to separate out the 100 things into categories. Because as you put each one of those 100 things into one of those categories, and some of them will overlap. You're sometimes going to have your something that's in the family section, also in the travel section, or work section also with perhaps your career section. You don't know. I don't know what your goals are, but they sometimes things will overlap, and that's okay. It can be on more than one list. So once it's on the list by category, then you take that and categorize it. You take that category and make a priority list. So let me think of an example. Um, Something about a list that has to do with education. So that you want to take a class on XYZ, you want to watch this YouTube channel to learn blah, blah, blah. You want to, and this, I can't actually think of a bunch of things right now because I didn't write the list yet myself for this year. But then you go and you take each item, I'm not explaining this very well, take each item and you say, this is what I want to do first. This is my first item. This is my second item. So you're working the list, you work the list, and then once you figure out the priorities on each of the lists, so you're going to have quite a few lists, you're going to have that many lists, one for education, one for family and friends, one for income career, one for physical, one for social, one for spirituality, one for travel, and you may have a different category that I haven't listed. Then you take one or two of those items from the categories and make a to-do list for each item. So I use to-do lists mostly on the weekends because on the weekends I also work, even though my store is closed and I'm off from here. I have quite a list because I also am a writer. I have articles due to magazines and make master blends and such. So I have a to-do list and I'm always working the to-do list. And it helps me be a productive person and really to get things done. So whether you're using it as a daily list or taking your daily list and making it a much broader spectrum, this is a longer term goal. Like one of mine right now, I actually have two that have to do with writing that would be in the category of writing. So I would have a separate list for writing. Is I have a manuscript, a quite extensive, very big manuscript that's due and has been for quite a while, and also a smaller contribution book that I'm working on with a group of authors, and that's due. So then I would think, well, what is it going to take for me to get both of those completed? And what's the goal date? So I also come up with goal dates. I don't call them deadlines. I don't like that term. It's a goal date. My goal is that by such and such a date, I'm going to have this accomplished. So with articles that are due for me, I'm using my own life as an example, it's a little bit easier because the the magazine or the publication or the publisher, they often tell me what the goal date is. They almost a deadline, and then that makes it pushes me to get something done, and it will do the same for you. And these things that I'm sharing, many of you may already know this, but it's a reminder to remind yourself. That's right. There are things that I really have been wanting to accomplish, and I haven't done it. So the more specific you are on the list, the better off it is. So I like to use the example of when I first opened the Crystal Garden. when I Many, many moons ago, like I said, over 33 years ago, I had quite the list of what I needed to do in order to open the doors. This is back before I even opened the doors to the store. So that was in the early 88 and late 87. And I had to make a list of everything from, licensing, making sure the building was up to code, what products, what color the walls would be, where would I get my displays, and the list was very, very long. But I would then go into detail and get more specific, like, oh, I'm going to order this from such and such corporation. Oh, I have to contact my CPA regarding XYZ. Oh, I need to research this with Palm Beach County, or, and be very, very specific. And the more specific, the easier it is to integrate what needs to be done, and then it happens because you know what to do because it's very clear, it's very plain, it's very specific on what it is, and then you don't get overwhelmed because you could get overwhelmed pretty easily when you're really trying to achieve a number of things. That's one of the reasons I use the color yellow as the background, is because yellow is the vibration of integration. It's the, if you were here for the meditation that I just did, it has to do with being optimistic and having mental clarity and having the confidence and courage and know that you have high self-esteem in order to do the things that you want to do. So back when I was a banker, I took a course by Paul J. Meyer, Success Motivation Inc. And these are some of the positive quotes that I think are true and powerful. So this is my very favorite one is what you vividly imagine, ardently desire, sincerely believe, and enthusiastically act upon must inevitably come to pass. Vividly imagine, so you have to spend time imagining it. Ardently desire, you have to really want it. Sincerely believe, you can know that it's going to become true. And then enthusiastically act upon. The act upon is very important. Well, then all those things, all those components are in place. It has to come to pass. Next quote, productivity is never an accident. It is always the result of a commitment to excellence, intelligent planning, and focused effort. Enter every activity without giving mental recognition to the possibility of defeat. What do you think of that? It's not even a possibility that it won't be anything but good. Concentrate on your strengths instead of your weaknesses, on your powers instead of your problems. And the last quote by Paul J. Meyer is, and he has many, many more, but for tonight, mistakes are merely steps up the ladder. I always think of that when I order certain merchandise and it takes a really long time to sell because I'm the buyer for my store. And if it's not that often, thank goodness, that I buy something that's like, oh my gosh, we've had this for years. But I also look at that as like, okay, now I know that's something that it doesn't go for my clientele, for the people that shop with me. Then I know I don't buy anything like that again because it's not my genre. It's not what I want to sell or what people want to buy more specifically. So that's just an example. So I always love to work with the angelic realm for everything. Everything. Why not? They're here to help us. So this is a quote out of my book, The Essential Guide to Everyday Angels. To gain angelic assistance, simply think of the type of assistance you need or want. Determine the area of life in which it pertains. So you just did that. If you did all these things I just shared, you just did that. Now you're going to ask the everyday angel to guide you and inspire you to achieve your goal or intention. So if you invite the angels to help you, it's like having divine orchestration, divine co-creation in your life. So because humans have free will, angels need to be asked to assist or to intervene on our behalf. So they just won't abracadabra help. They will help only if we ask, and then we have to be specific on what you want help with. So what goal or intention? What angels? And there's so many angels you can ask, and you don't have to even know the name of the angel. You can make up your own name for the angel of action, the angel of prosperity, the angel of self-confidence, and give them a job. Give them a very specific job. So if it's like, okay, I don't know how to do this. So, angel of self-confidence, I'm not feeling very confident in myself in this regard. I'd like to ask you to help me understand how I can create this reality. How can I transform my life to make this become true? It works. It has for me for many years. Now, I also am all about crystals and working with gemstones to help realign. Now, if you were part of our little meditation just prior to this workshop, notice at the end of the meditation, we did a little crystal align, or actually a chakra alignment, and you can add crystals in that as well. I do have a CD on it, chakra balancing crystal alignment, or also an MP3 color meditation. That's a chakra balancing CD and meditation. It's an MP3. You can listen to that if you don't know how to guide yourself into realigning the chakras. But the intention of working with crystals in alignment is to balance the chakra system. And if each one of the chakras, which are responsible for different aspects of your awareness, or if they're in balance, then if everything's in alignment, you're good to go. So there are key points, they're key energy points. So you can place a citrine or a lemon calcite or a yellow fluorite on your solar plexus, because we're doing a lot of yellow tonight, is to help you with your confidence, to help you with mental clarity, to help you not feel overwhelmed, but instead feel all together now. So you can do this by listening to a guided imagery, or you can also do it in quiet, just in complete silence, and do the laying on of stones. Feels so nice. It's really impressive how nice putting crystals on your physical body is. Very nice. And this quote here is from my book, Crystals Beyond Beginners. So when you're working with Gemstone Allies, that's really powerful because you're amplifying intention. The crystal itself is not the one that's doing the work. It's your thought form combined with the crystal as a powerful tool for amplifying what it is that you are wanting to achieve and to help you stay focused on your goals and have a clear space. It's good to take the time to burn a piece of sage, to burn some incense, get some Palo Santo out, and walk around with that item, whether you're using sage or incense or whatever it is, some kind of a, or even the sprays that I have created to clear your space and to keep the energy clean and fresh. So I like to work with red and orange and even yellow, but red and orange stones in order to bring things into manifest reality, to help be passionate, to help have take action. So garnet is one of the many stones, and we can talk also about carnelian tonight and red jasper. And I'm looking over here because we'll have a Facebook Live show, shopping show, shortly at 6:30 here following this event. And we have carnelian and red jasper on the table tonight. But anyway, garnet can help you, and even red jasper and carnelian can help you focus on your creative power. So carrying the vibration of passion and determination, this red gem, garnet, helps you follow through on your goals. Use it when you need to stop procrastinating, say that, procrastinating and get motivated. It also helps you maintain power and balance to help you avoid anger and frustration. So if you do find yourself with too much red energy in your vibrational field, if you are getting angry and frustrated, I recommend bringing blue energy in to help calm and bring things back into balance, blue or green, which is the complementary vibration or color to red. And the positive thought form, the affirmation, you will know if you know me, I'm all about saying positive thoughts. I have plenty of energy and plenty to share. I am vital and strong. I live a full, passionate life. I am determined. All my needs are met. I am healthy to the core of my being. And sometimes when we say affirmations, we think, oh, I don't know if that's true or this, I'm just saying this, but I don't believe it. Well, you might want to also change your mind about that. Change your mind and believe it and affirm the positive until it's integrated to the point where you do believe that. So now I pulled the two selenite cards out of two of my decks. There's six decks and a seventh one coming soon. I'll be able to reveal the cover as soon as it's up on Amazon. I'll be able to reveal the cover. So, and the title. But right now, I want to talk about the selenite card from the Gemstone Guardians and Your Soul Purpose deck, which is the complementary health practitioner card. And this has to do with being aligned, to be aligned, as well as the selenite card from the Angel of Divine Guidance from the Angels and Gemstone Guardians cards, which has to do with being aligned, aligned with the divine, a spiritual being of divine love. So I like working with selenite. You could also use clear quartz so that you can stay connected with the divine will, not just your will, but the divine will. And that's something that I've often done throughout my life. It's like, okay, God, if you don't want me to be doing this, God, Goddess, Creator, show me what it is. Inspire me. Let me know what I should be doing instead, or what the divine plan is that I need to fulfill, what my contract, what my sacred agreement is. And that's why I wanted to pull a card from the sacred from my deck, which is sacred, Gemstone Guardians and Your Soul Purpose, because we all have a purpose, we have a reason that we're here, and we fulfill it in very many ways. And it's not just one purpose, we have many things that we can fulfill and help ourselves and the planet and each other. So now I also like to work with Bach flower essences. So I pulled a few quotes out of my book, The Essential Guide to Aromatherapy and Vibrational Healing. So, Bach flower remedies are intended to transform negative attitudes or beliefs into positive ones, thereby allowing the body's own physical system to fight disease and the stress associated with an out of balance condition. So, now if you're using the positive thoughts, you have clarity on what your goals are, you're using the gemstones of what you want to do, you're working with color, you're balancing your chakras, and now you add the Bach flower essences as vibrational medicine. It helps you. It's in fact, you can use it with no training. All that's required is the ability to understand yourself. And it's all on the mental and emotional level. Flower essences, you put 1 drop in your water, and that's how you do ingest it. These are not essential oils, they're flower essences. So the one that I picked for tonight's subject, which is the reality of resolutions and being motivated and making things happen, is wild oat. And wild oat is the first thing you can ask yourself, and this is a direct quote out of my book, The Essential Guide to Aromatherapy and Vibrational Healing. Ask yourself, do you believe that you have a block that prevents you from fulfilling unknown dreams? Are you always searching for the right job or a life path to bring you joy? So with wild oat, you can use wild oat. I would put 1 drop every morning in water and then drink it throughout the day. And I typically like to bring to mind the reason that I put the wild oat into the water or whatever the Bach flower essence is that you're using. So wild oat is a perfect remedy for someone who's still trying to figure out what to do with his or her life. It is for those who feel they have a special purpose but can't put their finger on what it is. And I think there are a fair number of people that feel that way. And sometimes I think there's more that I might need to do, but I have so many plates spinning, I don't want to add anything else right now. So I highly recommend that. And then Lang Lang is the essential oil I chose as the essential oil of the aromatic vibration to help you. Now, in my book, The Essential Guide to Aromatherapy and Vibrational Healing, each one of the essential oils I've listed the divine guidance, and this is the divine guidance from Ylang Ylang. Are you ready to attract the best of everything? Now, this is something that would be good to journal. Write that question and then journal about that. Are you ready to attract the best of everything? And if for some reason you aren't, you might want to journal about why. What's the underlying issue that you might need to heal so that you can attract the best of everything? Why not? You deserve it. Do you believe the best is yet to come? Make a clear decision to manifest the good now in this moment. Don't wait until tomorrow. You're being called to experience spirituality in everyday living. See all the love that is in everything. And that's the message from Ylang Ylang. And this is my Ylang Ylang tree when it was in full bloom. It's not in bloom like this now because it's winter here in Florida. Well, it's winter here everywhere in this hemisphere. Um, but this is my actual tree. Isn't that beautiful to see the Ylang Ylang flowers? When I walk up the path to my front door, it's just there beyond, and it wafts the fragrance of Ylang Ylang. A fragrant garden. I have a very fragrant garden. I'm very grateful. Another quote from my book, Ylang Ylang. Ylang Ylang relaxes the mind and relieves the internal dialogue that cycles through your consciousness. Ylang Ylang improves alertness and attentiveness, and it aids in seeing love, feeling love, being love, and encouraging loving thoughts for yourself and others. So I didn't always love Ylang Ylang, and now I love it, and I love my tree. I got it. It looked like a stick. It was hardly a beginning of a tree. It was a really tiny baby. And now it is probably 8 feet tall, maybe 10, and it's really wide. The branches are phenomenal. So I'm grateful for my Langling tree in my yard. Yay! Well, I think that's everything for tonight. Let's finalize with this. So this is like a reframing of Paul J. Myers. This is a quote from my book. Anything that you ardently desire, visualize with passion, truly believe in, and enthusiastically act upon will come to pass. It will happen. Ardent desire, visualize, truly believe, and act upon. Those are the keys to make it so. You can do it. All right, well, that's it for tonight. I want to thank you for joining me tonight. I hope that this has helped. This will be up on YouTube. It's Margaret Ann Lembo / nope, it's youtube.com / Margaret Ann Lembo. And so that way, if you want to subscribe, and you can see a little bit of a hint of the picture of my deck there on the far right side of the screen, the new deck, you can see a little bit peeking out from there. So next week we're going to do what's called the Gemstone Oracle. So think of some questions. It's not fortune telling, but it's divine inspiration. So what we do is Kate, my assistant, and I, my lovely assistant, we together we pull cards. You write your question either through the chat on Facebook, or I should say the chat on Zoom if you're a Zoom participant, or through the Facebook comments, and she maneuvers both of those and keeps track of who's asking questions. And then I do my best to answer as many questions as possible. We pull from all 6 decks, soon to be 7, to get some kind of insight, guidance, or inspiration from the divine. So that's the Gemstone Oracle next week. We start with a meditation at 5:45, and then by 6 o'clock we'll start the actual Oracle. So I want to thank you so much for watching, for being here with me, for wanting to attend. I wish you much joy and many blessings and lots of good vibes and good energy for creating your reality. Design your own reality. May the angels light your path, and may you always feel blessings and love. Thank you so much for watching.